Oh God, it's been that long. I first started teaching long before you were born. My first year was 1975. My master's degree is in history, modern history. So first and foremost, I'm a history teacher. I've also thoroughly enjoyed teaching philosophy and politics. I've even taught math. I was told in grade 9 by the math teacher, Maxwell, it will be a waste of public money to enter you for the examination next year. To which I said, you're absolutely right. And the irony was, I ended up teaching grade 10 math when I was out in Manitoba. So you never know what fate holds in store for you.
What's the weirdest job that you've ever had?
There was one job when I was in Northern England working in a factory at night. And the job was to be making oil pump housings. And there was an old guy sitting next to me. And he was inspecting my work. So he got each one as it came and said, bloody rubbish, huh? So here my 19-year-old at 4 o'clock in the morning doing this. You'd imagine the quality of the work. So finally the guy from Vauxhall came over and there were 7 skips of these things. 2 of which my helpful inspector had said were good, the other 5 were substandard. And the Vauxhall guy looks at me and goes, no, I'll take the lot. Which is why British cars never work worth a darn, and why the British motor industry no longer exists.
So what brought you to Canada?
I was born Canadian, but then when I was a kid, my dad was British, and he went back to Britain, and so he dragged us along with him. Did my education there, and then started working there, and the pay was terrible. My first paycheck was actually below the official poverty line at the time. So after a couple of years of doing this, I thought, why? So I came back to Canada, punted around a few different things, got a commercial pilot's license. But at that time, there was no work in flying at all. So I ended up finding another teaching job.
What made you want to become a teacher?
I'm not sure if you're going to cut this. I was about 17, and my dad came into my room one day and said, what are you going to do when you finish school? So, I don't know. So he said, well, I can get you a job at the office. He worked for British Airways. I was thinking rock star or surgeon or something. What am I going to do? I was over at a friend of mine's house and she said, have you ever thought about teaching? Think about teachers, what are they? Well, they're boring people with thick glasses on and leather elbow patches, aren't they? No. I said, think. Most of them are what? Women. Yes. And that ratio is reflected at Teacher Training College. You already have sufficient qualification to go. The ratio is 3 to 1. Where do I sign? I hasten to add that was entirely the wrong reason for doing it, because I've absolutely never regretted it at all, because it meant that I can indulge in some of my little pleasures in life. One is history and politics and philosophy, which I love talking about. I have a captive audience for it. I've done a lot of theater and made movies and things of this sort. So I like performing. This is the ideal job. It's great. As Isaac Newton said, you stand on the shoulders of giants. And this is a terrific thing to be doing with your life.
So what is your favorite time of the school year and why?
You have the little bits where it's punctuated with carnival and things of that sort. The Mini World Cup, which I set up a number of years ago, and that's a lot of fun. But just the business of going in and teaching kids, I enjoy it. That's why I do it.
If BCS had a smell, what would it be?
Oh, I'm so tempted to say something really. I think it's the cherry blossoms at Cadet Day.
What's your favorite spot on the BCS campus?
I think the woods, down by the river. That is very, it's peaceful and you feel you're away from everything.
Do you have any plans for your retirement?
So much. I've got that old car of mine. It still runs, but there are always things I need to be doing on it. I just don't have the time now. Traveling, of course, is another huge possibility. Maybe do some writing, get more involved with the community. Another possibility is archaeology, because that was something else I did actually. There's so much to do. There's a whole life to be lived again.